One thing I'm learning is to watch my mouth and to always listen thoroughly, comprehend thoroughly before I speak. So I'm just, minding my business, scrolling through my little YouTube shorts. And one of my favorite YouTube content creators is a girl called Tatiana, a young lady, not a girl, a young lady called Tatiana Speaks. And I guess tonight her topic of discussion was getting people to see a different perspective on Krishan's comment about dark skinned women. I really don't know what the comment really was, but I'm guessing it's something like, oh, if you dark skinned, if God made you dark skinned, then you just deal with what you have to deal with in life. And a lot of people were getting on that because they were saying like, she's kind of a colorist or whatever. But I guess Tatiana was offering a different perspective, saying like, what she said was true. Um, that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to talk about that part. The part I found funny was that a lot of people in the comments is like, that's bullshit because she is a colorist, which she really is. Blueface is a colorist. That's somebody she really is in love with, has this weird connection to because she's tied to being famous to him. And I feel like she feels indebted to him. I don't know how being famous works, but contracts sometimes aren't just um, physical written papers. Sometimes people be making soul and spiritual contracts, and I believe her and Blueface got one. That's none of my business though. But anyways, back to the Tatiana thing. So I was just basically I seen how Tatiana responded to the fact that a lot of her viewers or people had the opinion to say, Krishan is being a colorist and that's not cool. It's not okay. Like, call it out. I was shocked that instead of her being like, oh, okay, well, I could respect our perspective or blah, 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 Tatiana ran on a rant in a way, like a little rant. And she was saying stuff like, in y'all little book, doesn't it say this about God? And no, she was basically trying to say people were condemning her because, and she was saying that basically like this is why the community can't heal and grow because we're so hard on each other. And I find it funny. I find it very hypocritical of her to say that because she's somebody who I thought valued correction and discipline over emotional egotistical ways, and I feel like her response was very emotional and very egotistical. Just because someone doesn't agree with you or their opinion differs, it's not like they're hating on her. People have I've seen thousands of posts with Krishan where people are giving her prayers and wishing her the best and hoping that she becomes her best self. um while that can be true, you can be corrected. Like, I'm not trying to say um humans are, the best judge of character, but I do believe that we are, iron sharpens iron. And I do believe there are some people out here that can see something and be like, hey, you know what? You just did some effed up stuff. You just did some messed up crap. Like, you just, you ain't too good neither. I feel like if iron sharpens iron, that's how we all, become better. And logically speaking, Krishan Rock is wrong. She is maybe battling demons. We all are. They say, the fight isn't physical, it's spiritual. We wrestling with flesh and spirit all the time. And that's every single one of us. No one's above correction, and no one's above getting knocked on their ass in life. No one's above that. And it's about how we get up though. And I feel like sometimes people get knocked on their ass a multitude of times, and instead of learning the lesson, they have learned how to play the victim. And I feel like that's Krishan in most instances, like, because God is constantly saving her. And I do believe that I think God walks with all his children, every last single one of us, no matter how dark it gets. And I do believe she is entitled to, not even entitled to, but I do believe she should be granted mercy, grace, and compassion by a lot of people. But I do believe that a lot of people who Tatiana speaks seemed like she was like they're just on the correction side of things, where it's just like, okay, now a spade is a spade, a chicken is a chicken, a duck is a duck. And right now, the way you walking, her actions, how she's behaving, it is off the wall. But what I found funny about Tatiana defending Chrisean the way she did is what she said. She was like, oh, this is why this is why the community can't heal and grow and get past trauma. But she be on these videos going off, screaming, cussing, banging at her neck. Black community, black women, black this, black men, y'all so this and this and that. This is why the community can never bring back shame and she be going crazy on people. But Chrisean, somebody who knowingly drank and smoked during her pregnancy, once after she found out she was pregnant, after she really took everybody on a whole vlog post while she found out she was pregnant, and then was drinking and smoking after that with the little baby. People was offering her advice. People who have children with disabilities and autism and cerebral palsies were offering her advice in the comment section, and she was taking it as hate. I just honestly feel like some people have to learn the hard way in life. And just because you have to learn the hard way in life don't mean people are judging or condemning you. It just means people are telling you the truth. Like I said, iron sharpens iron. Literally. Like, you are only as strong as your weakest link. And if your weakest link is weak in this area, then you need to take your strengths to build them up, right? So in order to do that, it ain't gonna look pretty. It ain't gonna look sweet. It ain't gonna look like a hug and a kiss and oh, I'm praying for you. It's gonna look like, get the fuck up and do what you need to do. And that's how I feel like that's how the community is treating her now, because so many times they've given her prayers, they've given her grace, they've given her mercy. And I feel like she keep spitting it back in people's face. She's playing. She right back over there with Blueface in the middle of a whole investigation that they're investigating on her for possibly killing the real child of her father. But you have Tatiana over here going off and being mad. You can't be. It's the truth. You cannot make the truth a lie. You can't. And yeah, we all are human and we all have dark past, dark presents, or things that we're battling and going through right now. None of us are far from sin. We all are sinners. We all are trying to get it together. But at the same time, because we all are trying to get it together and we all are trying to heal and grow, when we're healing and growing, we have to call out other people. We have to call out, no one's above correction. People calling out the bishops, the pastors, the people who are supposed to be the prophets, and they're looking at them and they're judging them based off of their fruit, and their fruit ain't looking healthy, it's looking rotten. And so is Chrisean Rock. So I feel like, Tatiana, you shouldn't be sitting up here trying to condemn people that are actually telling them the truth. This should be one time where you be like, dang, community, y'all right. And it's good to see that finally we're all on one accord about how to get this community together to heal and to grow. And we have to hold each other accountable. We have to hold each other accountability. We can't keep pacifying, baby coddling and coddling. We can't keep pacifying, babying, and coddling people who just want to keep waddling around in their lowest self. And that's what she kind of does. You're seeing Deion Sanders even talking to her from a father's perspective, telling her to stay away from Blueface. And what she did right after Deion Sanders said that, she went right over there. That's why I say it's some people who just don't value correction. It's some people who don't value mercy and grace. Some of us keep just going back like the dirty pigs we are and playing in the muck and the mud. That's all I'm saying. 9-minute video and I'm out. That's enough.